Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great myself because honestly, I'm finding more and more topics to make videos on in these very dry times. Now, this was something I originally wasn't even going to cover because, I don't really talk about Halo stuff on my channel too much, but I saw that all my fellow commentary channels out there were talking about this, so I figured, why not, make a video on it. It should be a lot of fun. Now, for those of you who don't know, basically recently, Halo Infinite's co-op mode for the campaign has just released, and honestly, it's embarrassing that a feature that was in every single other Halo game at launch, we had to wait 7 to 8 months to get in Infinite. Now, I haven't heard too much about the co-op. I mean, obviously, if you guys have seen one of my previous videos, I said I uninstalled Halo Infinite a long time ago because it got super dry and I just wasn't interested. I did play through the campaign, though. I did do, all those side missions and stuff. And overall, I actually thought the campaign was pretty solid. Definitely not as good as any of the original campaigns, but in my opinion, definitely the best campaign that 343 has put out. Not that that's really saying much. But from what I've heard, the co-op is basically decent. It still needs to be improved, but it's not god-awful, so I guess that's one step up from what Halo Infinite was before for 343. But anyway, today the video we are going to be looking at is basically a dude complaining that he has to buy Halo Infinite in order to play the game, basically. Who would have thought, guys, in order to play a video game, you have to buy it first? And apparently he's trying to twist this into some, oh, you have to pay for co-op, and, he's trying to make it sound like, you have to pay for it separately, you got to pay extra money to get access to the co-op version, which is not true, by the way. But yeah, I actually haven't seen this video myself. I've just seen a bunch of people talk about it. I've heard the main points. So if this many people are talking about it and the dislike ratio is 100 likes and 1,000 dislikes or something like that, I'm just gonna go for it. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
So the fight for Halo Infinite co-op campaign is going to be taking place very soon. It actually might be going on right now, depending on when I upload this video. As many of you know, co-op did not ship with Halo Infinite, and it absolutely should have. Halo CE in 2001 had co-op campaign at launch. Yes, I understand Halo Infinite is more of a open world type game. It still doesn't justify launching a Halo game without co-op. Not everyone's a fan of open world. Many people may have preferred a linear campaign with co-op. So, it doesn't matter. However you slice it, co-op should have been in this game at launch. Period.
I just sped that up because, you guys could still hear what he said, but that was a whole minute of him just talking about how, co-op should have been there at launch, which I definitely agree with, and I think it just proves, how early Halo Infinite was rushed out to be the first ever Halo campaign to not even have online co-op at launch, let alone local multiplayer co-op. So yeah, I definitely do agree with him in that regard.
Period. And as many of you know, I am just completely done with Halo Infinite at this point. It actually disgusts me a little bit that I'm actually making a video talking about Halo Infinite right now, but there's something I want to point out, because I don't think everyone has thought about this in this way.
Yeah, and as we're going to see here in a second, dude, I think the reason that nobody else thought of this the same way you did is because this logic is just so crazy and dumb and not thought out at all that I don't think anyone who was using any rational thinking could have possibly come to this conclusion. Obviously, there are going to be times when you talk about something nobody else thought of and then people agree with you. For example, I did that quantum video where I exposed the fact that I think Ninjishin had brought this up previously, but I didn't even know Ninjishin had brought it up at the time, that Quantum had been changing the Discord links so, people couldn't get in as easily. But at least my reasoning, even if I was completely wrong, I still had reasonable evidence, and I actually had a reason to assume what I was assuming in that video, which was obviously Quantum was changing the links. Even if I was wrong about that, I had evidence to back it, and then in your case, nothing can possibly back your argument because that's how poorly it was laid out.
So co-op is coming to Halo Infinite for free, right? It's a free update, and with co-op we're also getting mission replay. Woohoo, yeah, very exciting.
Yes, we are getting these things, and like I stated earlier, it's kind of embarrassing that co-op had to, wait to come until now because, every single other Halo game launched with it. But here's the thing, even if I could understand, even if somehow, I managed to create a twisted matrix of logic to understand how they couldn't even get online co-op out at launch, still, the fact that there was no mission replayability is just unacceptable. Like, imagine not being able to replay missions in a campaign. I guess I should specify a Halo campaign. So once again, I do agree with him that I think it's ridiculous that it took this long for these, like, very basic features to even come out. But don't worry, guys, my agreements with him aren't going to last too much longer.
So yeah, 343, they're not putting a price tag on co-op, which, that would be absolutely absurd if they did. And, right now, we're not officially getting co-op added to the game yet. Right now, it's just the flight. Well, right now or soon, again, depending on when I upload this video. But the thing that I want to point out here is that although the addition of co-op to Halo Infinite is free, that doesn't mean you get to play it for free. Let me explain what I mean.
Before he even explains what he means, can I just point out how, like, god-awful of an opening statement is for this argument? Imagine saying, yeah, it's getting added for free, but we still can't play it for free. Like, what even is that opening statement? Yes, it is getting added to the game for free, but you do not get to play it for free because you have to own the game in order to play it. Obviously, that is how video games work. You own the game, and then you get to play the game. If the game gives you free updates, then you will be able to play those free updates when they come out. But in order to play those free updates, you first have to buy the paid part of the game. What exactly is the problem here?
If you don't own the game, you didn't buy it for $60. If you don't have Game Pass, well, yeah, you're going to have to acquire the game one way or the other if you want to play co-op. You either got to buy it or you got to get Game Pass, which is pretty obvious, right?
Yes, it is extremely obvious, but what it isn't is an issue. What, do you think they're just going to let you play the co-op version of the campaign for free, but then you have to pay for the single-player version on the side? Like, what kind of logic is that? Obviously, they're giving away the multiplayer for free, but when it comes to a campaign game, what kind of game with a campaign would let you play the campaign for free with somebody else, but then if you want to play that same campaign solo, then you have to pay money? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That game would literally make no money. So once again, what exactly is the problem here?
But the thing that's so fucked up about this is, again, if you don't own the game or you don't have Game Pass, and you want to play co-op campaign when it gets added to the game, or even during this flight, if you want to play co-op campaign, you gotta get Game Pass, or you have to buy the game. You have to do one or the other if you want to play this flight, if you want to play co-op campaign. So you have to spend more money just to play co-op.
I'm honestly done with this video already. You know what? Here we go. This is me taking off my headset. All right, hopefully you can still hear me. Walking away. Dude, what kind of logic is this? You literally just said that it was obvious that, yes, you have to own the game either through Game Pass or you have to buy it for $60 in order to play the co-op. You said that was obvious. But now all of a sudden you're saying it's an issue? Like, why is it an issue that you have to buy a game to play the game? That argument at the end as well, he's saying, oh, you have to pay extra money. No, you don't. You pay a one-time fee, or I guess, you pay recurring fees in the case of Game Pass, but whatever. You pay for the game once if you're buying it for $60, and then you get the free content updates with it, and that includes co-op. It's not like when you launch the game, they're going to say, hey, you got to pay us 10 more bucks if you want to access the co-op portion of the game. It's a free update. You're not paying any extra money for it. There's literally no argument to be made here. And honestly, I would say this dude is a troll or something, but I saw on his Twitter, he made like a 3-minute long video that he posted on Twitter where he was trying to defend himself and people were absolutely ratioing him, but he still could not come to terms with the fact that his argument is so stupid.
So, for me, I played the Halo Infinite campaign on launch day for $1. I got the Game Pass Ultimate for $1 deal or whatever it was. $1. I got to play the brand new Halo campaign on launch day.
Yeah, because what's the deal? It's like your first month or your first 3 months or whatever of Game Pass only cost $1 if you're new to the program. So guess what, dude? You paid the discounted fee, you got access to Game Pass, you played the campaign, and I'm assuming you haven't renewed your Game Pass subscription, so you do not have that game anymore. If you actually bought the game and owned it, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. But if you're gonna be getting a subscription service like Game Pass, you do not own the games, you're just renting them. Once either you stop paying for the service or the game goes off Game Pass, guess what? You don't have it anymore and you have to actually buy it. What exactly is the problem here? I feel like I'm gonna be asking that every 5 seconds.
And right now, I don't have Game Pass. I obviously didn't purchase the game. So if I wanted to play co-op, I'd have to spend a minimum of 10 times what I spent to play the game originally.
I love how hard he's trying to make this sound terrible. Like, oh yeah, guys, I have to pay 10 times the original price, even though I already played the game originally. Dude, you got the discounted price at $1 for what was it, a month or 3 months of Game Pass. You got access to the games on Game Pass. Congratulations, you played through the campaign and you beat it. I hope you enjoyed it. But then later on, you stop paying for Game Pass, so you do not have access to the game anymore. When you buy a Netflix subscription, you don't only buy it for 1 month and then you get access to everything on Netflix infinitely. You have to keep paying the subscription service for as long as you want access to those games. If you want to play Halo Infinite co-op, then you have two options, like you just said. Either get Game Pass again, or just pay $60 for the game. It's really just that simple, dude.
Game Pass is $10 USD. I played the Halo Infinite campaign for $1 on launch day. You'd have to be out of your fucking mind if you think I'm spending more money just to play co-op. Absolutely no way I will ever fucking do that.
Then don't do it. Just sit there and cry about it. You subscribe to Game Pass for $1, you beat Halo Infinite, and then you didn't resubscribe to Game Pass, therefore you cannot play the campaign anymore. You have to either resubscribe to Game Pass for $10 or pay $60 for the game. If you didn't want to lose access to the game, then you should have just bought it outright. Or, you shouldn't have canceled your Game Pass subscription. And plus, dude, I think the fact that you only had to pay $1 to play the Halo Infinite campaign, plus, the access to, 400 something other games on Xbox Game Pass, that's an absurdly good deal. So if you don't want to pay the extra money to either renew your Game Pass subscription or to just get the game fully and just own it, I love how hard this dude is trying to spin this argument so he can make 343 and Microsoft look bad, because, hey, you know what? 343 and Microsoft, they have screwed up Halo a ton, but this isn't them screwing up. This is how a subscription service works. You pay for it. If you stop paying for it, you stop getting access to whatever's on it, and then if you want to get that stuff back, you have to pay more for it. I do not know why this is such a hard concept to grasp.
No way. At first when I thought about co-op getting added to the game, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'll check it out, maybe. But then I really thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'd be spending more money to play something that absolutely should have been there at launch. Not only more money, but 10 times the original amount I spent. No way. No fucking way will I ever do that.
but they're not charging you specifically for Halo Infinite's co-op. They're charging you for Game Pass as a whole, or Halo Infinite's campaign as a whole. It's not like they're marching up to you and saying, okay, there's this update out for Halo Infinite that gives you access to co-op in the campaign, but in order to access it, you have to give us $10. No, dude, you're giving Microsoft $10 for not only access to Halo Infinite's campaign, but over 400 other Xbox titles on top of that. You're acting like they're charging you $10 specifically to play the co-op mode in the campaign. No, it's not like that, dude. It's not like Sony, where they charge you $10 to upgrade from the PS4 version of a game to the PS5 version. Microsoft is not charging people any extra. It's a free update and a paid game. This paid game happens to be on a subscription service as well. You stopped paying for the subscription service, which includes other things besides Halo Infinite, and because of that, you no longer have access to the campaign. If you would like to have access to the campaign again, you must either pay $60 for the campaign, or you must renew your subscription for $10. It is really not that complicated.
And I don't think everyone thinks about it like that. Like, yeah, the co-op update is a free update. There's no additional charge, but that doesn't mean you get to play it for free.
Again, obviously you do not get to play it for free because the base campaign is paid for. You do not get access to the campaign for free. If they were, say, giving away the campaign for free, but then they were charging extra money if you wanted to get the co-op, or, you know, if they were just charging extra money for the co-op and they were charging money for the campaign originally, then you would have a point. Then there would be an issue, but that's not what they're doing. They're giving away the update for free. It's just that you do not own the game. This would be like if I downloaded Sea of Thieves off of Game Pass, then stopped paying for Game Pass, then Sea of Thieves got a free update, and then I complained that because I canceled my Game Pass subscription, I didn't have access to the update because, you know, I didn't have the game. You're only entitled to a game if you either A, pay the money for it, or B, you pay for the subscription service that it's in. It's not like you can just hop into the subscription service, download all the games you want, or in Netflix's case, like all the movies you want, and then just never pay for it again. These companies would go bankrupt.
Because again, if you don't own the game, or you don't have Game Pass, well, then you have to spend more money to experience co-op, which is just absolutely absurd.
Oh my god, guys, is he trying to tell me that you actually have to pay for a game that costs money in order to get the features in the game that costs money? Dude, I never would have guessed. But actually, to my surprise, guys, I'm going to actually end the video here because we're only like 5 or 6 minutes in. There's still like another 6 or 7 minutes left in the video, but the entire rest of the video is him repeating himself. But basically, I just want to summarize this one point he made because it's literally like a 3 or 4 minute clip, so it's like too long to shorten down or anything. But basically what he's doing is he goes into this rant about modern gaming and how, you know, games are releasing unfinished and stuff. And then, like, if you pay extra, like, you know, in his eyes, you know, oh, you're paying extra money for this feature that should have been in at launch, you're part of the problem. But then he goes and justifies, or at least tries to justify, you know, that he's spending money on microtransactions in games, but at the same time saying he doesn't like them and he wishes they weren't there. Even though, you know, he just went on that whole rant about how you're part of the problem if you contribute. So just really hypocritical stuff. Honestly, the rest of the video, again, too much repeating himself. And it's just like that one little topic I just condensed it into, but talked about over the course of like 6 or 7 minutes. So it's not even worth covering. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Also, thank you all so much for the support on my last video, because honestly that topic is a little bit outdated at this point, and I genuinely was not expecting it to do anywhere near as well as it did. It's like my second best performing video out of the last 10 that I've uploaded, and all of my videos lately have been doing so well. So yeah, just thank you guys all so much. I really do appreciate all of you. We're already starting to wind down on the 700 subscriber mark, which is absolutely insane. So thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. So like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.